You were in Afghanistan in 2002.
Of the cave. There's a cave.
You see something coming out of the cave.
This is a monster. Red beard. Then his hair was longish, past the shoulder.
And dug out a giant burial ground and died the next day.
During the Afghanistan conflict, soldiers reported an unusual incident beyond the usual combat challenges. They encountered what is described as a giant, a blade-bearing creature in a desolate cave. This account of their confrontation with the giant that attacked a Special Forces soldier raises questions about reality on the battlefield. Could they really have stumbled upon a new discovery? And if so, were there other giants too? Join us as we uncover what really happened in that Afghan cave. Historical context of giants. Giants have been a part of mythology and folklore across various cultures globally. In Greek mythology, giants, known as gigantes, were large creatures who battled against the gods. These myths date back to 1297, with gigantes being described as enormous beings engaged in epic struggles with divine entities. Similarly, Norse mythology includes giants as pivotal characters. They played significant roles in various myths, including Ragnarok, a series of events including battles that led to the death of major gods and reshaped the world. In these Norse tales, giants intermarried with godly families, indicating their integral role in mythological narratives. Moreover, giants are not always portrayed as antagonists. While in some stories, like Jack and the Beanstalk, giants are seen as villainous, other literary works present them in a more positive light. For example, authors like Roald Dahl and Jonathan Swift depicted giants as benevolent or misunderstood beings rather than malevolent monsters. This shows that the perception of giants varies significantly across different cultures and literary works. In addition to these mythological and literary references, the concept of giants is present in various forms across different cultures. They are depicted as beings of fire, cold, and mountains, embodying natural elements and forces, illustrating their diverse representations in folklore and mythology. These stories and characters have been passed down through generations, highlighting the ongoing fascination with giants and their role in human culture and imagination. This is why a former U.S. soldier's revelation of what he and his team saw in Afghanistan has left everyone shocked. Encounters with the unexplained in Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, United States military and coalition forces reported encounters with phenomena that defied all normal explanations. These included sightings of ghosts, cryptids, and unidentified flying objects. The soldiers' experiences spanned a range from terrifying to awe-inspiring, contributing to the region's mysterious reputation. Afghanistan's vast and rugged terrain became a backdrop for these unexplained encounters, adding to the sense of mystery and the unknown. One notable incident involved a group of soldiers vanishing in 2002 while on patrol in a remote mountain area of Kaha, located in southern Afghanistan. After losing radio contact with the missing soldiers, a special operations unit was dispatched to investigate. The unit's affiliation with a specific branch of the armed services was not confirmed. During their search, the battalion found a cave high in the mountains, with nearby scattered army equipment, but no sign of the missing personnel. This discovery set the stage for the encounter with the Kandahar giant. The incident took an unexpected turn when the soldiers encountered a giant humanoid emerging from the cave. The creature was notably large, and its appearance led to immediate action from the troops. Accounts of the giant's height varied, with some reports suggesting it stood 15 feet tall. The giant, described as having red hair, 6 fingers on each hand, and wearing leather moccasins, also emitted a stench reminiscent of dead bodies. Upon encountering the soldiers, the giant attacked, resulting in the death of one U.S. Special Forces soldier. The soldiers responded to the threat with sustained gunfire, utilizing an arsenal that included full auto M4 carbines, recon carbines, semi-automatic, and M17 Barrett anti-material rifles firing 50 BMG rounds. The intensity of the gunfire, focused on the giant for an extended period, ultimately led to its demise. This encounter highlights the extraordinary and unanticipated challenges faced by military personnel in Afghanistan beyond the conventional expectations of wartime engagement. The Kandahar incident. Following the giant's death, the military took steps to manage the situation discreetly. The creature's body was transported from the site, initially loaded onto a Chinook helicopter and then transferred to a transport plane. This action indicates the military's intent to examine the body further or to conceal the incident's details. In the aftermath of the encounter, the soldiers involved were required to sign non-disclosure agreements, NDAs. These NDAs were likely implemented to prevent the spread of information about the incident, reflecting the military's preference for secrecy regarding such unusual encounters. The requirement for NDAs suggests that the incident was of a sensitive nature, possibly due to its implications or the questions it raised about unexplained phenomena in conflict zones, skepticism and official responses, and when mysterious things are tried to be kept a secret, they attract even more attention. The Kandahar giant incident led to skepticism and prompted official responses due to its extraordinary claims. Skeptical perspectives emerged, particularly focusing on the lack of supporting evidence and the impossibility of such a creature existing without prior discovery or documentation. Snopes, a fact-checking website, investigated the claims surrounding the Kandahar giant and found no verifiable evidence to support the story. The investigation highlighted the absence of reliable sources or documentation that could validate the encounter's details. In response to the growing interest and skepticism, the Pentagon was approached for comments on the incident. The Defense Department categorically denied any knowledge of a Special Forces member being killed by a giant in Kandahar. Furthermore, the Pentagon stated that there was no record of any Special Forces troops going missing in Afghanistan during the period in question. The lack of official acknowledgement or records regarding the encounter added to the skepticism surrounding the incident. The Department of Defense's online news releases were also scrutinized for any mention of the incident or related events. No references were found, further undermining the claims of the encounter with the giant. The absence of official documentation or acknowledgement played a significant role in the skepticism and questioning of the incident's authenticity. While such a lack of evidence does not completely disprove the existence of the Kandahar giant, it does raise a substantial amount of doubt about the incident's validity. Despite this skepticism, the story of the Kandahar giant continues to circulate, capturing the imagination of those interested in unexplained phenomena and military mysteries, soldier testimonies, and personal accounts. Now, there may not be much pictorial proof, but there are first-hand accounts from witnesses of such giant creatures. Various soldiers have reported encounters with large humanoids in Afghanistan, adding personal testimonies to the narrative of the Kandahar giant. These accounts include detailed observations and experiences that suggest encounters with beings significantly larger than average humans. One account involves the Giant of Kuna, where an infantry unit commander during a deployment in 2008 or 2009 observed a large heat signature through a thermal scope. The entity, perceived initially as a group of Taliban, rose from a prone position, revealing its immense size. The figure, towering over the surrounding 10 to 12-foot trees, exhibited remarkable speed and agility, challenging conventional expectations of size and mobility. Another testimony comes from an Air Force drone operator who, while conducting surveillance in northern Afghanistan, identified 3 large humanoids on his infrared display. These individuals, each approximately 12 feet tall, were engaged in activities around a fire. The operator used a crosshair tool to estimate their height, concluding that their size was extraordinary, especially when compared to nearby goats, which appeared cat-sized in comparison. A third account involves a sentry-duty Australian Army officer who observed a gigantic man in the Oruzgan province. The officer, using lasing equipment, estimated the figure's height at around 12 to 14 feet. The giant's casual demeanor and awareness of its surroundings were noted as it walked unhurriedly around a compound before disappearing from view. These first-hand accounts contribute to the body of anecdotal evidence regarding the presence of unusually large beings in Afghanistan. The consistency in these accounts, particularly in the descriptions of size and behavior, highlights the intrigue and mystery surrounding these alleged encounters, mythological and religious exploration. People may be skeptical of accounts from humans, but this is more than just something cooked up by the human mind. There is religious and even mythical backing to it, too. The concept of giants is deeply rooted in mythological and religious texts, notably in the context of the Nephilim from the Book of Genesis in the Bible. The Nephilim are described as the offspring of the sons of God and the daughters of men, suggesting a hybrid origin that contributed to their enormous size and strength. This narrative introduces the Nephilim during a time when humans began to multiply on Earth, highlighting their presence in ancient times and their impact on human history. The term Nephilim is often translated from Hebrew as the fallen ones or the ones who fall, indicating their unique status and potentially sinister origins. Their portrayal in religious texts varies, but they are generally considered powerful and imposing beings, often associated with corruption and violence. This aligns with broader ancient Near Eastern and Mediterranean myths, where beings born from divine and human unions possess extraordinary characteristics and often play significant roles in the respective mythologies. In Genesis, the Nephilim are mentioned briefly, which has led to various interpretations and elaborations in later texts and traditions. For example, the Book of Enoch, an ancient Jewish work not included in the canonical Bible, provides a more detailed account of the Nephilim and their ancestors, the Watchers. These stories elaborate on the interactions between heavenly beings and humans, offering a narrative that explains the presence of evil and violence in the world. The Nephilim's legacy in religious and mythological texts reflects human fascination with beings that are beyond ordinary human limits, embodying both the potential for great achievements and the capacity for significant destruction. The study of Nephilim in myths and religions sheds light on humanity's interest in giants and their importance in understanding good, evil, and human origins, modern interest, and conspiracy theories. Apart from these explanations, there's other theories out there as well. The story of the Kandahar giant has captured the interest of modern audiences, particularly within conspiracy theory and paranormal communities. Despite the skepticism and lack of concrete evidence, the tale has persisted, fueled by various accounts and discussions that circulate online and in the media. The narrative taps into a broader fascination with the unknown and the allure of hidden truths supposedly kept from the public by authorities. In the wake of the Snopes investigation that aimed to debunk the Kandahar giant story, some paranormal enthusiasts and conspiracy theorists have suggested that the government is actively suppressing information about such encounters. This belief stems from a general distrust in official narratives and a conviction that there are significant truths that are deliberately obscured from the public for various reasons, ranging from national security to preventing widespread panic or challenging established historical and scientific paradigms. Art Bell's Coast to Coast AM radio program played a pivotal role in popularizing the story by featuring accounts of encounters with large humanoids in Afghanistan, which went beyond the singular incident of the Kandahar giant. These stories, while difficult to verify, contribute to a narrative that suggests a pattern of encounters with mysterious beings, lending a sense of credibility among those inclined to believe in such phenomena. Veterans' insights and advice. Following the Kandahar incident, veterans who served in the area provided insights into their experiences and the advice they received. Some veterans claimed that after the encounter with the giant, they were instructed to adjust their targeting practices during patrols and engagements. Specifically, they were advised to aim higher than usual, suggesting a continued concern for threats of unusual size or stature. This guidance implied that the military personnel might encounter large adversaries, necessitating a change in their tactical approach to ensure effectiveness and safety. These instructions to aim higher were not standard protocol and indicate a unique response to an extraordinary situation. The advice suggests a level of acknowledgement, whether official or unofficial, of the potential for encounters with large beings, similar to the giant reported in the Kandahar incident. Such a precautionary measure would have been unusual and specific to the context of Afghanistan, where the reported sighting occurred. But this sighting is just one narrative in a long history of abnormal creatures accidentally being discovered. The mysteries continues, the Mothman prophecies. The Mothman prophecies involve a series of sightings of a large winged creature in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, during the 1960s. The first reported sighting occurred in November 1966, when two couples reported seeing a large white creature with glowing red eyes and a 10-foot wingspan standing in front of their car. Over the following months, more sightings were reported, along with unexplained phenomena and disturbances in the town. The creature was named Mothman by the press, and descriptions typically included a large humanoid figure with wings and red eyes. Witnesses reported feelings of intense fear and foreboding during their encounters. The phenomenon culminated in the collapse of the Silver Bridge in December 1967, leading to the deaths of 46 people. Some locals connected the Mothman sightings to the bridge disaster, theorizing that the creature was either a sign of doom or somehow directly connected to the tragedy. Investigators and researchers have proposed various explanations for the Mothman sightings, ranging from misidentified bird species to elaborate hoaxes. However, no conclusive explanation has been universally accepted. The Mothman has since become a part of local folklore and pop culture, inspiring books, movies, and an annual festival in Point Pleasant. Another such creature from Ohio was sighted a decade earlier than the Mothman: Loveand Frog Men. The Loveand Frog Men, or Loveland lizards, are cryptids reportedly sighted in Loveland, Ohio. The first reported sighting occurred in 1955, with the most notable encounters documented in 1972 by local police officers. Witnesses described these beings as approximately 3 to 4 feet tall, with leathery skin, frog-like faces, and webbed hands and feet. In March 1972, a police officer claimed to have seen an unidentified creature crouched beside the road. When illuminated by his vehicle's headlights, the creature reportedly stood up on 2 legs, looked at him with illuminated eyes, and leaped over a guardrail. A similar creature was spotted weeks later by another officer, reinforcing the initial reports. Skeptics suggest the sightings were misidentifications of large reptiles, possibly escaped pets or native fauna distorted by darkness and surprise. No physical evidence has been produced to confirm the existence of these creatures, leaving the accounts largely to eyewitness testimony and local lore. The mythical creatures don't end here. The Faulknerville Metal Man. The Faulknerville Metal Man incident involves a sighting by Jeff Greenhaw, the then police chief of Faulknerville, Alabama, on October 17, 1973. Greenhaw received a call about unusual activity and encountered a figure on a deserted road. He described the entity as humanoid, around 7 feet tall, wearing a metallic suit that appeared to reflect his car's headlights. Greenhaw attempted to communicate, but the figure only made a hissing sound before fleeing at an extraordinary speed. Despite its bulky appearance, the entity moved swiftly across a field, eluding capture. Greenhaw managed to take a series of photographs which show a blurry figure in a metallic outfit. However, the photos are of low quality and have not provided conclusive evidence. Skeptics argue that the Metal Man could have been a prankster in a costume, exploiting the rural setting and lack of witnesses. Others suggest a more extraterrestrial explanation, aligning the incident with a broader context of UFO sightings and encounters reported during that period. But some areas are more famously known for housing such creatures, and Skinwalker Ranch is one of them. Skinwalker Ranch. Skinwalker Ranch, located in northeastern Utah, is reputed as a site of numerous paranormal events, including sightings of large, unidentified creatures. The ranch gained attention in the 1990s when its owners reported strange occurrences such as mysterious lights, unidentifiable animals, and cattle mutilations. These reports attracted the interest of researchers, including a billionaire businessman who financed a comprehensive study of the phenomena. The name Skinwalker comes from Native American folklore, referring to a type of harmful witch who can transform into, possess, or disguise themselves as animals. The ranch's location is considered to be in the path of the Skinwalker by the Ute tribe, contributing to its mystique and the variety of reported anomalies. Among the various unexplained occurrences, witnesses have reported seeing large, unidentified creatures that do not match any known wildlife species in the area. These sightings include creatures that are unusually large, possess glowing eyes, or exhibit otherworldly behavior. Despite extensive investigations, including surveillance and scientific analysis, definitive explanations for these sightings remain elusive. And speaking of such beastly creatures, The Beast of Bray Road is another famous case of these sightings. The Beast of Bray Road. The Beast of Bray Road refers to reported sightings of a werewolf-like creature near Elkhorn, Wisconsin, mainly during the late 1980s and early 1990s. Local residents and travelers in the area described seeing a large, intelligent, wolf-like creature walking on its hind legs along Bray Road. Witnesses noted its muscular build, gray-brown fur, and intimidating presence, often associated with a foul smell. The creature reportedly exhibited both bipedal and quadrupedal movement, with some accounts emphasizing its fast speed and agility. Eyewitnesses often described the creature's eyes as glowing or reflective, a detail common in nocturnal animal sightings. Despite its fearsome appearance, there were no verified reports of the Beast of Bray Road attacking humans. Local media and cryptozoology enthusiasts have covered the sightings extensively, adding to the legend's growth and the area's lore. Law enforcement officers and animal control officials received reports but found no concrete evidence to explain the sightings definitively. Its story continues to attract attention and entertain the possibility of maybe, just maybe, having undiscovered creatures living in the wilds of the United States. But that's not all. The Hopkinsville Goblins encounter. The Hopkinsville Goblins encounter occurred in 1955 in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, where a family reported an invasion of their farmhouse by small, alien-like creatures. The beings were described as about 3 feet tall, with oversized heads, large, round eyes, and thin limbs. The creature's skin appeared to have a metallic sheen, contributing to their otherworldly appearance. The incident began when family members noticed strange lights outside their home, followed by the appearance of the creatures, which seemed to float above the ground and peered in through windows. The family, feeling threatened, used firearms to shoot at the beings, but reported that the bullets had little effect. Local police investigated the scene, noting the family's genuine distress and finding evidence of gunfire damage at the home. However, they found no physical evidence of the creatures. Skeptics later suggested that the sightings could have been due to the misidentification of local wildlife, possibly owls, influenced by the heightened anxiety of the witnesses. But these stories become parts of lore and legends for a reason. It is because people believe in them enough to pass it on and turn it into something they half believe. And that's true for the Bigfoot creature sighting, the Cowman of Copalis Beach. The Cowman of Copalis Beach is a Bigfoot-like creature reported in the 1960s in the Pacific Northwest near Copalis Beach, Washington. The creature was named Cowman due to its supposed habit of lurking near cattle. Witnesses described it as a large, hairy humanoid over 7 feet tall with a strong, unpleasant odor often associated with Sasquatch sightings. The most detailed account comes from a local family who claimed that the Cowman frequently visited their property. They reported hearing loud, unidentifiable noises at night and finding large, unusual footprints around their home. On one occasion, a family member allegedly encountered the Cowman at close range, describing it as incredibly tall and covered in dark, matted fur. The family story includes descriptions of the Cowman's behavior, which suggested curiosity and intelligence rather than aggression. However, the encounters left the family feeling intimidated and frightened, leading them to share their experiences with others in the community. Local investigations yielded no concrete evidence to confirm the existence of the Cowman. No physical remains, clear photographs, or definitive footprints were produced to validate the claims. Skeptics suggest that the sightings could be attributed to misidentified wildlife, while believers in Bigfoot consider the Cowman another piece of evidence supporting the existence of North American ape men. The Cowman of Copalis Beach is a key piece of Pacific Northwest folklore, aligning with the region's interest in Bigfoot. Its tale, marked by strange sounds, mysterious footprints, and nighttime sightings, adds to the local cryptid mythology. The Flatwoods Monster Encounter. In September 1952, Flatwoods, West Virginia, became the center of a notable American mythological tale. Several local residents, including a group of children, investigated a strange object they observed crashing on a nearby hill. During their investigation, they encountered an unusual entity that would later be termed the Flatwoods Monster. Witness descriptions characterize the creature as being about 10 feet tall, with a face that emitted a glowing, pulsating light and eyes that shone like reflective surfaces. Its head was described as elongated, resembling a spade or ace of spades, which has become a distinctive feature in its depictions. The entity's body appeared to be covered in a dark, pleated skirt-like exoskeleton, suggesting a non-humanoid structure. Observers also reported a nauseating mist and a high-pitched hissing sound accompanying the creature, causing physical discomfort and illness among some who were present. The encounter lasted only a few minutes before the creature retreated, leaving no physical traces behind. Despite numerous theories, the true nature and origin of the Flatwoods monster remain unexplained, with explanations ranging from extraterrestrial beings to misinterpretations of indigenous wildlife or aircraft, the Chupacabra sightings. There are other mythological creatures sighting too. The Chupacabra, first reported in Puerto Rico in the 1990s, is a creature said to attack and drain the blood of livestock, particularly goats. Descriptions vary, but it is often depicted as a reptilian creature, around 3-4 feet tall, with leathery or scaly skin and spines running down its back. It is known for its alleged vampiric behavior. Sightings have spread from Puerto Rico to other parts of the Americas, including the southwestern United States. Despite numerous reports, there is no conclusive evidence of the Chupacabra's existence. Investigations typically attribute livestock deaths to known predators or diseases. Characteristics attributed to the Chupacabra include glowing eyes, fast movements, and a distinctive hopping gait, akin to a kangaroo. The creature's name, meaning goat sucker in Spanish, stems from its reported habit of draining the blood of its prey. The Chupacabra remains a popular figure in folklore and cryptozoology, with its true nature and existence still a topic of debate. Thanks for exploring with us on Beyond Discovery. If you enjoyed these revelations, click now on the next video that pops up on your screen. It's unbelievable.